What is going on, cave dwellers? Howdy, howdy, howdy. We're going to be a little different tonight. What up, everybody? If you're here, say hello and join the conversation. What's going on, Sean? How you doing? What up? What up? I know we've been MIA for the past 2 weeks. Obviously, the holidays, and last week we were in California. We did get some messages to meet up with some people that had Camaros out there. Sorry we couldn't get to you. Short trip, and yeah. So, but only me tonight. Tonia's feeling a little under the weather, so she is resting. And as you can hear in my voice, probably won't be on here too long. What up, Spider? But there's been a bunch of news this week, and I'm gonna post the latest article about the Camaro that just came. Oh, it's not gonna let me because the link is too long. Of course not. What up, Neil? Of course, the link is always too long, so I can't post the link. Of course not, and they won't let me shorten it, will they? Nope, too long for them. Awesome. Well, I'll just share it with you guys. But a lot has happened in the past week in the automotive world, and if you've been following anything, everybody knows Mecum auctions just capped off. If anyone watched that, it was amazing. The most expensive Camaro ever went across the block, so that was pretty cool. And we actually have a video of it. And then we do know a couple of our Ohio friends that were actually at Mecum sending us videos and pictures of cars going across the block for crazy money, right? So yeah, and this week, actually one of my managers at my Chevy store is at Barrett Jackson, and he sent me a picture today of none other than the ZR1X, the 250 year Stars and Stripe edition. So that was pretty cool. He says it was the best looking car on the display floor, right there. So that's kind of cool. But he's enjoying Barrett Jackson. We're ranking up for some crazy snow. Hope everyone is doing well and staying warm, because we're about to get, like, I don't know, they've been lying to us all week. About to get like between 4 and 20 inches of snow. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how they can give you such a big range, but that's what they're claiming. When we already still have snow on the ground, it's crazy to go from California, where it was 85 degrees and sunny, and yes, $7 a gallon of gas. And if you don't believe me, well, we took a picture of it while we were there, because it was crazy. We were in San Diego, but we drove to Los Angeles, and which anything in California is at least 2 hours minimum to get anywhere. But when we were in LA, we did grab a picture of that gas station, because I was like, this can't be real. This is insane. But let's show you that real quick. What up, everybody? Boom. Oh, we gotta share this one first. There we go. $6.99 for premium gas. Crazy. There we go. And we left New Jersey, and it was $2.57, which is actually lower now. Costco near me, which I'll actually pull up. Last time I checked was like $2.39, and it's continuing to drop, especially with the actions in Venezuela. So we will see our gas prices decline, except we got a new governor, and she is implementing a new tax on gas. So that's not cool. But let's. Oh, what the hell was I even doing? I'm checking the Costco gas prices. So, yep, that was when we were in LA, and why we were in LA. We made a special trip, and if anyone, we made this post, and if you know, then you know. Does anybody know whose house this is and why we would drive there and take pictures outside of someone's house? Anybody know? Famous house in Los Angeles. What up? What up? Don't be afraid to get involved in the chat, y'all. If you don't know, then I will tell you in a couple seconds. Yes, sir. The Fast and Furious house. This is Dom's house. This is Dominic Toretto's house. And when you Google it, it actually says Dom's house. So that's kind of crazy. And that's why they still have like the signs keep out private property. So someone owns this house. There was no one home at the time. But we were able to get some pictures of the house. And I'm sure this happens all the time to people at this house. And of course, we're rocking the Panther shirts, Panther ZR1 shirts, both of us, as we're out there. But I mean, we were literally 5 minutes away from the house, so why wouldn't we just go and check it out? Yeah. Fast and Furious, which is supposed to be in the next film. So that's pretty cool. Because they're bringing, this is the final Fast and Furious, so they say, and they're bringing it back to LA. So this will be Dom's house again. Yeah. So it's cool that we were able to see it in person. Obviously different looking than in the movie, but the first movie was almost 20 years ago. So it's kind of crazy. And then it blew up, remember? Spoiler alert. But we did that, and then our favorite little adventure was going to Kansas. Well, my favorite little adventure was going to Kansas City Barbecue, which was the home of Top Gun, the original Top Gun movie. And yes, I did get to play with the piano. It's there. So is the jukebox, and it's real. And there's a bunch of memorabilia, everything signed by everybody from the movie. And the guy behind the bar was like, "Yeah, Tom comes in when he's in town." I was like, "That's crazy," but still cool. Still cool to see all those years later that this place is still kicking it from the 80s. And then we actually went to the second Top Gun bar, which I didn't post pictures of because it's on a naval base. But that was cool, and that was the spot for the movie Top Gun 2, Top Gun Maverick. So there's that. Also in the news, like I said, the number one Camaro to go across an auction block to make the most money ever. Let's watch the video.
An exceptionally rare and important Yenko Camaro, Bill, the 1969 prototype pilot test car.
This is the first Yenko.
An important Yenko Camaro, Bill, the 1969 prototype pilot test car.
This is the first Yenko Camaro in '69, prototype pilot test car. And of the 10, this is one of 2 with the white graphics and the only one documented as having been optioned with Atlas wheels by the dealership. And look at that. One.
And does anybody know, before I finish the video, does anybody know how much this car went for? Does anybody have any guesses? Throw the guesses down in the comments right now. And does anyone know how much this car went for? Because it's insane. You could buy like 8 houses. Well, in certain states. Maybe like one house in this state. Well, maybe 2 houses in this state. 100% over a milli for a car. and not just a car, the first ever Yanko. We'll let it play on.
0.4, Scott.
Reserve is off. Oh, man. $1.65 million.
And it didn't stop at that 1.6. It actually finished off after the reserve at 1.8, just like Neil said. And Andrew Garcia said, yeah, literally $1.8 million for a Yanko Camaro. Kind of crazy. And if you've been following us on our TikTok page, we actually posted a bunch of Camaros that went off. And I'm sorry if you're not on TikTok. We just started it literally last month, and we're almost at 600 followers on the TikTok there. So well, let's get to our page, and then we can show you. Here's our page. There we go. 1.8.
Show me a picture of you then of what you.
Of money.
Show me a picture of you then of what you drive.
I'm tipping wood grain.
Yeah. So yep, that's our TikTok page now, guys. As you can see, bunch going on, and anytime there's a car, throw that up there as well. We're already talking about Camaro Nationals there, talking about Camaro Fest, a bunch on there as well. So if you are a member of the TikTok, go check us out. We appreciate it. We'll actually link. There we go. There's our TikTok. But speaking of Camaro and a comeback, what this article just got posted yesterday, and it makes you wonder, right? Now, is this a reliable news source? They've been right on some things, and once people see the name of it, they tend to realize who it is. Have to turn you off. Damn. Couldn't hear over the music. Yeah, I muted it. Sorry about that. Will the Camaro ever come back? Great question. What we know so far. I'll let you. I'm not gonna read that. You guys can read that, and I can talk. Literally, summarization of it. Well, now they got a new engine, right? They have a new engine coming, 6.7 liter V8, and staying true to the 5.3. But this new engine, the new LS6, LS7, LS6 is what they're calling it, that they're going to put in the new Corvette, rumored to put in the new Corvette from many news outlets now. And when I say new Corvette, you'll be seeing in 2027. Still C8, but everyone's rumoring of the new Grand Sport coming, and they're claiming this new engine is going to be in the vehicle. So we'll see. So that's going to replace the LT2. And if they already have that for Camaro, and they invested all this money in a factory in upstate New York where they're building exclusively V8s, why wouldn't they bring back the car? Especially now that Mustang is now the number one selling sports car in this country. And it's not by a lot. They only sold 46,000 units last year. So that's not crazy. And literally that's because Camaro wasn't around. Dodge was throwing up electric EV muscle cars or fake EV muscle cars, which were fast. We can definitely say that we've been in them, but not a muscle car. So the sales slacked on them, and Corvette's included in that. So, but Corvette only sold 26,000 units. So, but you're talking about Mustang versus Corvette. It's a different clientele and a different price tag, for sure. I mean, you can get a Mustang at $30,000. So there's that. How's everybody's week? Is everyone's car stored away for the winter? Unless you're in nicer climates, of course. And yeah, I don't have my mic today. I figured just because me doing this, and I'm not gonna be on here long. We'll just go through the computer mic, so that's probably why you guys heard all that music. Sorry about that, Spider. Optimism in the air. Yes. Also, I mean, think about it. What's better for the Camaro to come back than the Dodge team bringing back SRT and hammering away to make the new Dodge SRT truck with 777 horsepower? You don't really think they're trying to squeeze that engine in a Dodge Charger, because they are, and they're definitely going to bring a V8 back into the Dodge Charger. So the muscle car games can be going off. Working on the Camaro with some more Hot Wheels stuff. Ooh, that's cool. What do you got in mind? What are you working on? So that's pretty chill. And then why wouldn't GM put their toe back in there and say Camaro's coming back? There's reports, obviously, inside General Motors that people want the car to come back. But they've been saying that for years. And like we've said in the beginning, if the car was coming back, then it would take the 2028, 2029 model year in order for the car to come back. Remember, the car went away in 2023, even though it was a 24 model, which people still think the car is in existence and for sale. I don't understand that whole rigmarole, but people still think the car is still being produced. But nope, December 2023 was the last down the line. However, we're getting close to our 2010s birthdays, so that's pretty cool. Sent a pic of the radio skin, working on the digital dash and radio. Be working the carbon fiber hood. Nice. Spider. We'll have to pull up the email chain here. Oh, and speaking of that Barrett Jackson car, the one that my manager sent me pictures of, General Motors sent us an email about the car to all dealer employees, basically, with the link to the car, because that car is actually going up for sale at Barrett Jackson. Obviously, you know probably who's going to buy it, but here is the listing. It's a one of one 2026 Chevrolet Corvette Stars and Steel Limited Edition ZR1X, 1200 horsepower. Have its 5.5 liter twin turbo engine with the blue interior. Not gonna lie, it's pretty sweet. Now, I'm not a Corvette guy, but we'll give a shout out to our cool, awesome designer Adam Barry for putting that package together. Three screen setup with the blue interior. 3LZ actually. Sorry. The stripes all the way from the hood all the way back to the roof line and the trunk lid. And of course, one of one, 250 years of American valor and sacrifice. And 100% charitable sale is going. All fees and commissions are going to Driving Hope for Others. That's the charity that will be getting the money for this car. So what do we think this car is going to be going for? Is it going to hit that 2 million? Normally it's between like 1.5 and 2, and we all know who ends up buying it, Mr. Rick Hendrick. Right? Rick Hendrick? Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, guys, but I think it's Rick Hendrick that normally buys all the number ones, or my mind's just not working today. Let's get to the chat. You said you sent us an email? I did not see an email on our page, guys. Also, this week, Corvette became the fastest production car ever for a factory car. So that was really cool. So the Corvette ZR1, America's quickest production car, 0 to 60 in quarter mile in 8.675 seconds, 0 to 60 in 1.6 seconds. Yeah, that is super crazy fast. There's not many cars that can even touch that, especially for the price tag. It's beating $4 million Bugattis. And that's why the price tag is getting crazy, right? So we're seeing dealer markups of like $200,000 to $400,000 over asking price, which is making these cars, starting price at $200,000. You're at $600,000 for the ZR1X. Crazy, kind of crazy to think about. So I'm curious to see what that ZR1 car is going to go for show. Oh, might as well watch GM's little video on it too.
We're going to prove that the ZR1X is the quickest Corvette, the quickest car GM has ever produced, the quickest American production car.
Just point it straight and watch the tree and hang on for the ride.
All right.
The Corvette ZR1X was engineered to be the quickest Corvette ever, but we're not going to know how fast it is until we run it down the drag strip. That's why we're here at US 131 Motorsports Park in
All right, can we just talk about something real quick? Because we haven't brought this up yet, and we probably should have a while ago, but
it is until we run it down the drag strip.
Let's
1X was
All
the Corvette ZR1X was engineered to be the quickest Corvette.
right there. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I had to stop this right here. So how bad is, well, I wouldn't say bad, but how crazy and lackluster is GM design and studios? Do you see that X? Does anybody know what car that X is already on? That's been out since 2017. ZR1X. Does anybody know what other car that X is on since 2017? Whoop, whoop. I'll give you all a second. No, that X, they actually stole that X from the Camaro ZL1 1LE. And you're like, what? Yeah. Check that out, y'all. That X is on the wing. This is the same exact X. People, I haven't heard anybody talk about it yet, but I can confirm that that is the same X from the ZL1 1LE. And they threw it on the car. How crazy is that? Instead of calling it the Zora. Yep. Instead of calling it the Zora. They called the ZR1X. And of course, if you're going to do that, might as well use the best ground effects kit the GM's ever built for any car. And that'd be the ZL1 1LE. Crazy. Trying to find a better picture of it. Nobody really has a good picture of that X on the wing. Look at that. We'll learn something from Camaro Capes today. Here's a better picture of the X. They took it right from the ZL1 and threw it on the side of a Corvette. We'll do a little video for the masses at some point about that. I get it in detail, but yeah, Camaro is still so cool. They had to take parts from it. All the way, when you think about it, all the way from 8 years ago. Well, really 9 years ago, because the car came out in 2016. It's 2017, right? When they were talking about ZL1 1LE. Well, 2017 is 2018, because the ZL1 was first, and the ZL1 1LE. Have you seen or heard of anyone has purchased and installed that new aero package? I have not. I heard people have been trying to get the GM package, and it's was still on back order last time I checked, which was 2 weeks ago. But the parts were still not readily available to order. I think this is kind of their way of getting around NASCAR, personally. And I think it has a lot to do with using that arrow on that car for testing of the new Grand Sport, because you can't test certain parts on cars that don't exist yet, and you can only test so much camouflaged, right? So I think those parts were basically produced for the next gen, which would be Corvette and Grand Sport, and the loophole. Because if they're still making parts technically for General Motors and Chevrolet, then they can still race NASCAR. Do you know that on the original GFX kit on the Camaro had on the backside Z28? So there was a bunch of labeled Z28 parts that were on ZL1 when the car came out in 2014. So because y'all know the ZL1 was supposed to be called Z28, and then before it get unveiled, they just said, nah, we can't make this a car Z28 because it's not naturally aspirated. It just didn't feel right to the big wigs and the higher up, so they scrapped it, and ZL1 stayed, and then Z28 came out later and shocked the world. I remember being there, so that was really cool. All right, here we go. We're getting some pictures now. Oh, snap. All right, Rondo, looking at some pictures. Here we go. Let's stop sharing this and share your email with your new dash set up on your Hot Wheels. That's kind of cool. Working on a little something. That's cool. Let me take you home tonight. Oh, yeah. Oh, so it even shows the kind of like an iPad setup. That's cool. And I will also check, Neil, if those parts become available as well. I'll check tomorrow on the backside GM if people can order those parts, or if they're still unavailable. Because let's be real, those are all carbon fiber parts. And the reason why some of these Corvettes are on constraint right now, because there's a lot of constraints going on with GM, is for carbon fiber still. So why would they waste the carbon fiber for those parts and not add them to Corvette where they're making their money? We'll see. But I'll check tomorrow and post about it, and we can hit you back next week. If Tony is feeling better tomorrow, we might come on here and just do a little quick session. But we'll post in the comments about it if we do. That is a cool picture, though. Anybody else got anything they're doing with their cars? Any mods coming? I still so I got tires. This is something we need to talk about. Okay, so I'm super excited because the tires that me and Tonya use for her 5th gen and my 6th gen, my first 6th gen Tribute, is Firehawk Eagle F1 tires, right? No, sorry. No. Whoa. They are Firestone Firehawk Indy 500 tires. And those just got a super upgrade. And we have forgot to even talk about it. Let me see if I can find it. because they just posted about their upgrade to the tires, and they're like winning awards for their new upgrade of these tires. First of all, the first tires are unbelievable. Their setup, I haven't had an issue at all. They're super comfortable. The ride, here we go. Yeah. And for the budget, it's winning one of the best budget performance tires. Finally get an update. Meet the new Firestone Firehawk Indy 500 version 2 tires. Here we go. First track day, March 8th. Whoop, whoop. I've got to send some pics. Got Apex wheels and the splitter extension. Hell yeah. Definitely send some pics. I'd love to see them. We could share them. So here we go. The new tires. And first of all, these are the best bang for your buck for when at least in my opinion. I don't know if the price is probably going to go up on the new version, but when we were looking for new tires, these are quality, super comfortable. Like I said, super quiet is what really drew me to the tire. As far as the pricing goes, looks like the version 2s command a relatively minimal premium. For example, MSRP on them is $286.9 per tire, and the older models were $273. So that's not much of an crazy thing. But the smaller sizes start under 200. Okay, all right, that's great to know. Because once I'm done with the tires on Bagheera, definitely going to Indy 500s. Now, I will say the new tires I did get for Tribute's new wheels. Tribute's getting new wheels, new rubber. Tires I got for the Tribute are different. So no spoiler alert. We'll post pictures once we get them installed, once the season starts, because I am moving no Camaro in this weather. And does anyone still have issues? Like, are you driving in the bad weather? Are your wheels cracking? If you're using factory tires, do your tires crack on the exterior? Has anyone even experienced that yet? Don't forget to smash that like button too, guys. Been on here almost 40 minutes. We got 3 likes. What is that nonsense? Smash, smash, smash. Let's go. Why do they look like the Venom Raggerton tires? It's a good question. I don't know. I always liked how like there was cuts in them, and that's what really drew me to the tire. So like when you turn the wheel, you could see the cuts in the tire. I was like, ooh, like those look badass. But they perform extremely well as well, and they're getting rave reviews. I mean, even the ones we had that I have on the car. And a short article. You know what? I'll actually post the article for y'all. Let's see if it lets me, or if the link is too big. Oh, nope, they let me post it. So if y'all want to read the article, or if you're looking for tires, great choice. I know, we can't wait for this cold weather. High performance all season. Yeah, but that's all I got so far, guys. Especially with us feeling under the weather. I think it's a good place to end it. And we'll be back every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Sorry we weren't on last week. We were on vacation, but we're back, and hopefully we'll be better next week. And stay warm. Be prepared for this next storm if you're in the tri-state or on the East Coast, or you're getting smashed like they have been in Ohio. Yeah. So stay warm, travel safe. Make sure you travel with a full tank of gas too. If you're going anywhere far, remember gas is 8 pounds per gallon. Remember that. And especially if you're driving a rear wheel car, or it doesn't even matter what car you're driving. Just add the weight to the rear, and you'll be good. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for the well wishes. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice, but kind of crazy. Tea and honey. Let's do that. We'll see you guys on the next one. Keep the faith, wear your seatbelts, and stay warm out there. Have a good night, y'all.